Okay, now I'm not playing this time, but I would like to talk a little about me, about this strange gynecologist, writer, visual artist, guitarist and composer, as I introduce myself in my videos. Yes, in fact, I'm all these things together, and in order, first of all, I'm a gynecologist. I was born for being a medical doctor, mostly dedicated to women. I became aware of this in my early adolescence, and only summarizing it a little bit for not taking much longer about that. As soon as I entered the medical school in 1969, after the first year of medical school, I began attending to the gynecology department of my school, Faculdade de Medicina of Universidade Federal do Rio de Janeiro. I trained for being a gynecologist for 4 years, and when I got my medical degree in 1974, I was already very good, and I began my gynecologic practice in my private office. But in gynecology, I followed a way very different from the usual, always considering gynecology as a clinical specialty and separated from gynecologic surgery and obstetrics. And gynecology has always been, since its origins, tied to surgery and obstetrics. And this tie is an absurd, but things remain being practiced all this time, along decades and decades and decades and decades. That's a paradigm that must be changed, has to be changed. Gynecology is, in fact, a clinical specialty and has nothing to do with obstetrics, contrary to the usual supposition, and surgery is a different area of medicine. Summarizing once again, I have always preached a gynecology as a clinical specialty and separated from obstetrics and surgery, contrary to the way it has been practiced all the time. All those who intend to be gynecologists, they are almost brainwashed, mind-washed, since medical school, for acquiring his training mostly on surgery and obstetrics. Okay, I oppose to this. And as you know, in our society, everybody who goes against the establishment, against the mainstream, is persecuted and, if not directly attacked, is blocked, boycotted, and along the years indirectly put apart and treated as an outcast. So I struggled for working in my office along 43 years. Yes, I have 43 years of gynecologic practice. This, to this we have to add the 4 years of training when I was at medical school. So I have 47 years of gynecology. I published 2 gynecology books in the early 90s, very unorthodox gynecology books, highly innovative, and in the first book I deeply criticized the way gynecology has been practiced. There is the tie to surgery and obstetrics. Well, my books, not bad. My books were boycotted, misunderstood, and persecuted. And now I'm 68 years old, and I'm very painfully watching the number of patients I have diminishing, and this most of all due to the dominant medical politics in this country, entirely dominated by health plans that dictate the rules upon all medicine, not only gynecology, upon all medicine. So I have this deep pain, this deep disillusion along all my life. Now let's speak on the rest. Nelson Soucasaux, the gynecologist, I already spoke. The writer has a great relationship with the gynecologist since of my 3 books, 2 of them are gynecology books. Presently, I'm not writing anymore. I'm tired of writing. The visual artist, yes, since I was a kid, I draw, and I draw very well. Artistic drawings, art drawings, fine arts. But in the last years I gave up drawing and have dedicated myself mostly to photography. And presently most of my visual work consists on photography. And the Nelson Soucasaux, most known of all of you, the guitarist. My story as a guitarist began when I was 16 in 1966 with the Beatles. I began learning guitar, but the entire context for learning to play rock guitar and progressive rock guitar was totally unfavorable in the late 60s and in the early 70s. So I struggled to play, studied. When I was in the 5th and 6th year of medical school, I was also studying classical guitar, but tired. In 1975, I decided to give up guitar playing. So the years passed, decades and decades, until suddenly in 2013, 5 years ago, I decided to try the guitar once again, or for the second time. And now the context here in Brazil changed completely. Acquiring excellent guitars became something easy, and I think that I was enlightened by some spiritual entity from the realms of music. 3 years ago I began composing, and I already have composed some more than 300 pieces for electric guitar. All of you know me for my playing here on the YouTube. And I was very glad because I was able to express what I feel, all the pain, all the frustration, all my anger against what happened to me regarding medicine. I'm being able to express this pain through my guitar playing. And it's very clear that my pieces are very sad, melancholy, aggressive, difficult, and expresses a great pain. So they are very dark. Well, now I think I can finish, and we continue in the next video. So I think basically I explained the reason for this. Gynecologist, first of all, yet writer, visual artist, and guitar player. And I thank very much my guitar for helping me to express what I feel and being able to achieve something I also wanted besides being a gynecologist since my adolescence. Okay, thank you for listening.